Hello everyone, it's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess to do the weekly reading for the lovely sign of Taurus. Taurus, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love to have you on board. Please remember though that these readings are only general. That means they may not resonate with you all of the time, or there may be certain aspects that do, but it may not be your story. If that's the case, make sure that you check out other aspects of your natal chart. If the reading does resonate with you, however, I ask that you give it a thumbs up and help grow the channel. It also helps the people who don't see me to get the messages. And thank you in advance. We are going to use the Light Seers Tarot for your reading. All right. One more shuffle, is they're saying. One more shuffle, one more shuffle. All right, we are now ready. Okie dokie. Oh, very nice. Wheel of Fortune coming through. What a great start to your reading, Taurus. All right, so the Wheel of Fortune is a card that talks about fate, destiny, the Wheel of Fortune. This is something now being spun in your direction. Something that you get some sort of upward swing on now. Something that perhaps you've been feeling like you've been on the downward turn. Something that's about to take you or rise you back up here. There is a strong feeling of moving towards the sunshine. So something beautiful is coming your way here. Let's see where we're going. Okay, Six of Pentacles. So you're co-creating with the universe here. You've let something go. You've understood you don't have the control. Maybe you've started to see how much control you really needed to have. And there's something here that's letting you know that at the end of the day, as much as you try to control your world, control is not healthy. It's about letting go and allowing the universe to take you in the direction you need to go. And I feel like you've started to understand this energy because you're now co-creating with the universe. You're aligned. You've either been through some sort of process, some sort of awakening, some sort of realization here that the universe is actually much more important than what you realized before. I feel like you've had some sort of awakening or enlightenment here because you're seeing things very, very differently now. Okay, look at this. You've seen through the illusion. I love it. I love it completely. So we grow up with this idea that the world looks a certain way because of what we've been taught by our families, our schools, institutions, our friends, relatives. So we see the world in a particular way. That means people say things to you when you're young that you set in stone. You think that is the way things should be because that is what I was taught. But as we grow, we start to realize that the things we've been taught actually aren't that way at all. And I can think of many sort of examples I could give you here. But that whole energy of thinking that things should work a certain way because you believe that that's the way they should be. People should be more polite because I was raised to be polite, so therefore people should be polite. And of course you realize after a while that isn't the case. Not everybody is raised to be polite, and some cultures don't have the same politeness way of doing things that we do. So some cultures believe that, you shouldn't need to say thank you to people because that was rightly theirs to be shared to start with. The same as some people think that you have to give and do for others and please others rather than putting yourself first because you've been taught it was selfish. Those sort of illusions are no longer serving you here. Those sort of illusions are slowly breaking down for you to start understanding that what you have learned up till now is not serving you anymore. Because there's a choice to be made here. The Queen of Swords is here. So this is Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy. And the Queen of Swords is very direct. She speaks her mind, she speaks up. Maybe you were taught that you couldn't speak up for yourself. Maybe you were taught that if you said what you wanted to say, it would be seen as being awkward and not what you should be doing. Maybe you've always believed you had to be quiet and just be told what to do. The Queen of Swords does not want that energy. She is very much about being assertive, being straightforward, speaking her mind and saying what's right for her. This is a person who's not afraid to cut out people who do not serve her. Oh, wow. And here's the Tower. So you're coming in a big one this week, Taurus, because there's huge realizations coming through for you here. The universe is really getting into your energy this week and showing you the way things are. This is really interesting energy. So you could have grown up in a home where a certain way of doing things has become customary to you. Particularly one that comes to my mind is the idea that you can't speak about the past. You tuck everything under the mat and you just put it away because somebody didn't like to talk about the past. So therefore, they pass that on to everybody else. We do not talk about the past, we push it away, which sadly means that you don't get to learn about your heritage. Something here for you is breaking down. You are no longer seeing this as the illusion that was put in front of you. You are having a huge awakening here. Oh, wow. Okay, so for some of you here, you may have been dealing with strong narcissistic personalities around you. You could have been dealing with people who have very codependent energy, leaning on each other unnecessarily. Something's coming to light here in a very big way. This is huge energy for you here. This is a real turn of events, an understanding of how things are really working. You've been seeing them a certain way for a long time because you were taught to see them that way. But this is a huge awakening here. This is a rebuilding. Look at this. We have the moon here. Wow. Okay. So this is emotions coming to the surface. So you have been bottling. You've been putting everything away. You've been living your life perhaps believing that you weren't able to speak up. You weren't able to say your piece. You may have been dealing with very narcissistic people who were bullying you, quite possibly in your family unit. And maybe you're starting to understand now, but there's that codependent energy coming through too. So maybe you've been serving someone for such a long time under the impression that's how it should be. Something huge is changing for you here. There's a huge awakening. There's a breaking down of old beliefs. There is a rebuilding here of energies here and a wiping out of old energy. Wow, big week for you here. We have the Nine of Pentacles coming through. Now the Nine of Pentacles is a card about being dependent. It's about making your own decisions, moving in your own directions and serving your own soul. So you are going from this codependent energy into this really strong energy of standing up for yourself, standing in your space, occupying that energy as you should have done before. I feel like somehow you've been serving others here. Okay. All right, so I have the Five of Swords coming through. Wow, with the Nine of Swords and the Knight of Wands. This is very, very powerful week for you, Taurus. A very powerful, changing, life-changing week. This is something where you're starting to understand. I feel like some of you have got into this energy of always thinking things through. Maybe you've never learned to feel your feelings. Maybe you've always been in your head thinking things through rather than feeling them. Something is inciting your passion this week. Something is going to come home to you through that wheel of fortune that's going to help you move through some sort of karmic cycle here. You've been on this karmic wheel for a long time, and something, it's about to bring you up into the light here and out of your dark emotions in order for you to see what you need to see. Something is happening here. Let's see what it is. All right, so we have the Knight of Pentacles coming through with the Temperance card. Yeah, I can feel the Temperance energy, that's for sure. And the Four of Swords. Contemplation, balance. I feel like there's been a feeling that something wasn't right for a very long time. So you may have been feeling this energy but unable to understand what this energy was. So for some of you, you may have been very subservient in a relationship. You may have been more of the control in a relationship. But something here is changing for you to understand that the way you've been doing it was the way you've been taught, and it's no longer resonating with who you are as a person. So you're starting to bring this passion, this love, and this energy in that you haven't experienced before. And it is giving rise to some serious emotions coming to the surface here. There's a life-changing event coming through that was due to come through a long time ago, but I feel like you've been either staying in your head and seeing things logically, but something here is changing. Let's just keep going. Okay, there's the Sun. That's what I said, something's being raised up for you to see. All right, and we have the Page of Pentacles coming through. The universe is about to gift you here. You've got the Ten of Pentacles here. That's abundance. You're being blessed from the universe with abundance, but you had to see it a certain way for this to come to you here. All right, I do need to get some clarifiers. I want to dig deeper. All right, so we have the Wheel of Fortune now turning in your favor. There's been some sort of karmic cycle that you have been riding. But instead of stepping off and having this awakening moment, you've gone round and round and you felt something was wrong. You felt it, always felt it, but you've never been able to put your finger on it. This is about creating with the universe. And this is something perhaps you've never been very good at. Maybe you've found it very difficult to manifest the things you want because you've been trapped in this illusion. So you've been taught a certain way of doing, being, or whatever. You've been taught that's the right way to go. But I see you taking on the energy of the Queen of Swords. You want the truth now. You want to see it as it really is. You want high level truth, seeing it from the top down. You're no longer just happy being where you are. Something has changed here. The universe is showing you some sort of energy of being bonded to your past, being stuck in this energy of seeing things from this perspective. There is a need to release deep-seated emotion here. And it could come via somebody else or some sort of communication here, possibly from a father figure or a husband figure. But something here is showing you a different way of being that is challenging everything you learned in your lifetime. It's challenging the way you see things. You know, when somebody shows you something, like we see, how old were you when you learned this? There's a cycle closing out here. And you think, wow, I never knew that. That's just amazing. How come I never knew that? That's what I'm feeling here. That's what I'm feeling. Something is being shown to you that you have not seen that way before. And it's life-changing. All right. I have you here starting to understand you're an individual, an independent person. And even though you're part of a greater collective, you still are who you are as an individual. Somebody's not treated you right here. Somebody's not treated you right. Look, 10 of Cups coming through. I feel like you're walking away from something here to find yourself. So maybe you've been in a very negative situation. I feel that there's this energy here that you've been trying to find some sort of balance for a while and tried to look at things from a different perspective. But because you've been in this illusion, you've always thought that is the way it should be. Maybe you're freeing yourself from a toxic relationship. Not all does this feel like romantic though. This feels to me like either a family situation or a situation with friends. It's definitely people. It doesn't feel like work, although I do have a lot of pentacles here. But the sun is about to come out here now and shine light on something. The universe here is offering you a new opportunity to see things the way they need to be. I feel like you're letting go of this sort of energy of maybe self-sacrificing, people-pleasing, sacrificing your own energy to please others. And I feel like you're coming out of that energy. Let's get some clarification. 2 of Wands. 8 of Cups. There you go. Walking away and taking a new pathway here. Wow. Okay, and there's that Tower card again. You can't look back now because you've seen the truth. Okay, 7 of Pentacles. You can't go backwards. Because what's happened here is something has opened your eyes and you're seeing something for what it actually is. There is no going back. You have a new pathway that you're heading down now. But you're starting to see your power in this. You're starting to see the power you have. You're no longer stuck. You're walking away from things that no longer emotionally serve you here. You're going after filling your own cup up now. The universe has shown you something here, so it's like you have to peel back everything and start all over again. And I feel like now that you know that you can plant seeds for the future. You know now that you can bring in the life you want instead of accepting things the way they were. So it's a complete change in the way you see your world, Taurus. A complete change here. Wow, beautiful reading. All right, let's see what the oracle cards say. This Tower for you is a hugely beautiful thing. Look at this. A fiery climax approaches. Full moon in Aries. This is about finding the answers here that you've been seeking. It's time to see if you've been a little too much me. There's a tug of war going on between what you want and what someone else wants, but you'll have to wait a little while to see what's going to happen next. As you wait, ask yourself if you've been handling the situation as sensitively as you could have done. If you know deep down that you've been a little rash or harsh, gone too fast or overstepped the mark, then accept that on some level you've created this situation yourself, which means you can create your way out of it too. When this card comes up, a peak is coming and it could be fiery. I feel here like being assertive is good, so maybe you've been letting everybody else run roughshod over the top of you. This is about understanding that you can move away from things here. Not really take everything so seriously that's been told to you. You're starting to have some sort of awakening and understanding you have power to create with the universe, create the world you want. For some of you, this is about understanding your feelings, understanding your own needs now. So maybe, as I said, you've been in situations where you've been people pleasing or feeling you have to do things for others rather than putting yourself first. Big change. Thanks, Taurus.